Hello, 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 everyone. It is my favorite day and the favorite time of the day for me as well. It is Friday, and we are here to focus on it Friday. Come on in, come on in, come on in, and bring a friend, y'all. It is a good day today. I am super excited, y'all, about the topic and also about just everything that's going on, guys. We have a lot of graduations. We have so much that's going on, and y'all are here with me. So come on in, come on in. Welcome to Focus on It Friday. Today is the last day of April, so we made it, guys. We made it to the last day of April. Tomorrow will be a new month, a new beginning of a new opportunity for us to take care of business and get our babies what they need. So come on in, grab all your friends, tell them, girl, guy, and friend, and doctor, and teacher, and mama, and daddy, and everybody. Come on in. It's time for Focus on It Friday. Let me know when you get in here. I want to hear from you. Today is a big weekend for a lot of different events going on, a lot of graduations. And we're going to be talking about some of those when we get done. I am just so excited. Oh my goodness, so excited. So excited. Come on in, bring a friend and come on in. We have 1, 2. Come on in, guys. I know you're here. Hello, KK. Thank you for joining Dr. Brandy B's Focus on It Friday. We're going to be talking about the kid that everybody calls bad. The kid that everybody's calling bad. Miss Misty Tucker, thank you for joining from the northwestern part of the state. I appreciate you for being here with me on Focus on It Friday. You know that some of my favorites are showing up, and I am so excited. We've got a few more that we will wait to come. Miss Misty Tucker says, hello, Doc, and I say hello to you. We've got Miss Teresa Dobbins watching, and we appreciate you for joining us today. She says hello, and I say hello. And Miss KK Lene says hello, and I say hello right back to you. Why don't you all go ahead and share the video if you would like. Somewhere around there towards the middle or maybe the bottom of the page is going to say share. Just click that, and then that's all you need to do. Click it, share it to all your friends so that other people can see it as well. We've got my Aunt Miss Gail Brown watching from Cleveland, Ohio. So we thank you for coming on in at the 1 o'clock hour in the Eastern time zone. Thank you all so very much. We've got my cousin Clarence III joining us from right here in the Birmingham area. We appreciate you for joining us for Focus on It Friday. Miss Melanie Long. I think Miss Melanie Long is here in Birmingham. Thank you for joining, Miss Melanie. We'll give everybody about 1 more minute, and then we'll just go right ahead and jump into these bad kids. Oh my goodness, y'all got bad kids out there. I've been hearing it all week. Y'all, usually I don't know what I'm going to talk about from week to week. I just kind of let the spirit lead me, honestly. And then also whatever comes in a lot this week. And I had a lot of the B word, right? So the B word in my field is the bad word, the bad, B-A-D. Oh my goodness. So we're going to talk about it today and what it is that we can do to help parents who may have a child that other folks say are bad, but you think they are angelic. And I would agree. They just have some challenges. So we're going to talk about it today. We've got 1 more minute, then we'll go ahead and get started. But I do appreciate all of you for being here with me today. I certainly do know that you could be doing anything at your 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock or 9 o'clock or whatever your time zone is right now. So I appreciate you being right here with me. Thank you all so very much. My auntie says hello, and I say hello right back to you, All right, well, I will go ahead and get started. I am Dr. Brandy B, triple board certified child and adolescent psychiatrist, pediatrician, as well as adult psychiatrist. And through my Facebook live streams, my webinars, my other programs, speaking engagements, and upcoming book, which is to be released at the end of May. I'm super excited. I help worried moms, dads, teachers, educators, friends, pastor, and whomever else may be working with children or adults get the education that they need so that they can be successful in the classroom and in life. So today we want to talk about the child that everybody calls bad. You know the child. You've seen them. You may not have used the B word, but you certainly know the child that I'm talking about. This is the child that's having tantrums. This is the child that's in Walmart and the mom says, no, you can't have a Scooby-Doo piece of candy, and the child just lays out in the floor. You may have seen the mom walk away from the child and you're thinking she just needs to beat his behind. And so sometimes you give unsolicited advice and you might get cursed back out from the mama in return. I don't know. It's always a risky thing when you start giving unsolicited advice. That's why one thing about me, if I'm out shopping, honey, I am minding my business. They say these days you need to mind your business and drink your water. And let me tell you, if I'm not being paid or asked to volunteer, I just keep right on walking because I'm praying that mine don't start screaming anytime soon. And that's just the honest to goodness truth. Hello, Miss Kenesha Red Williams. Thank you for joining. Good afternoon to you as well. But we want to talk about these kids. What in the world makes these kids behave such a way? Oh my goodness. Let me see. Does anybody have any ideas? Anybody have any ideas? What would make a kid, what would make other people call your child or any child bad? Any ideas? What would make somebody say that a child is bad? Well, any ideas? Give me some ideas. I know y'all have some ideas. Y'all have good ideas all the time. Y'all are the smartest fans in the land. So I know y'all have some ideas about what it is that would make a child behave in such a way that people would call them bad. What are the kids doing that make people do that? Tell me. What are they doing, y'all? I want to know. Disruptive behavior. Look at you. Oh my goodness. My cousin is smart. It runs in the family. Yes, yes, yes. What else might make someone say that a child is bad? And y'all know you will rarely hear me use that word when I'm talking about or describing a child. I'm not going to use that word because something is usually going on. And the child is not just choosing to be bad. So tell me what else could make a child be labeled as bad. Bad. If you ever encounter a psychiatrist that uses that word to describe your child, ooh, okay. Nothing else? Nobody else? All right, well, I guess that's why you're here. Let's see. Miss Kenesha says they don't understand the situation and probably don't have kids. Absolutely, honey. And they are judging people. And what they need to be doing is what? Minding their business and drinking their water. Because when you start tending to somebody else's business, what else do they say, Miss Kenesha? They say, mind the business that pays you. And telling somebody else how to handle their children may not be paying anybody who's passing by. Just go on and get your Capri Suns, get your juice, get your clothes, and whisper a prayer. But do not tell these people how to mind and tend to their kids, all right? Because the professionals, we are walking on. We are not being in those people's business, right? I'm not even sliding them a card because everybody's not ready. And so it's not my job to make them be ready. Now, that's just me. Maybe some other people get involved, but I don't. Because like I said, y'all know I got 2, 4, and 6-year-olds. So I'm trying to make sure they aren't doing anything that's got somebody wondering about what I'm doing. All right. Unidentified ADHD, says my auntie. Ooh, y'all act like y'all have been here before. Oh, my goodness. We got Miss Eureka Cook. I pray I said your name right. I sure do try to say people's names right. Over here, Dr. Brandy B. Welcome, Miss Eureka. I don't think I've seen you before. So welcome. We're so glad you stopped by. We hope you can stay the entire show. Go ahead and share this video, y'all. There's a share button somewhere. Just go ahead and drop it and share it. So we've got reasons that kids can be called bad. They could be having disruptive behaviors, my cousin Clarence said, or they could be having some unidentified or some known ADHD, my auntie Wanda said. Priscilla Friends, hello, you made it, girl. Thank you for coming. We are just getting started, so you are right on time today, girl. We appreciate you being here. Mama says, hello, Dr. Brandy B. I say, hello, Mama. Priscilla says, if a child running around in the store and the parent not saying nothing, what do you call that? Ooh, some people might call it bad. But there's just so much going on when you see a child, and that's why we really have to be careful. And I don't know, y'all, we may just end up talking today because there really are so many reasons that kids can be having troubles in stores. And this is, I'm gonna put that right here. We'll talk about it. Let me go ahead and get started. Being unruly. My auntie says, oh, hey, it's right. Okay, Eureka, I got it right. Bad, Priscilla says. Oh, Lord. Prajeesh, hello. Welcome. Thank you for watching. Let's go ahead and jump into it. Y'all know I love acronyms. And if you're just joining me for the first time, just type first time. If you've never seen my videos, you've never stopped by to see Dr. Brenda B, just type first time. We have a lot of fun over here. The more you interact, the more you'll get out of it. Silent people, they may get what I tell them, but if you got a question, Miss Eureka, you better ask over here at Dr. Brenda B, because we will answer it if I can see it. All right, so the B, behaviorally challenged, OCD. Not OCD, Lord, scratch that. ODD. ODD. What is ODD? Oppositional defiant disorder. So one of the main reasons that a child will have problems with behavior and someone is likely to call them bad is because they have behavioral challenges that professionally I'm likely to call ODD. And in fact, I told a little bit of a fib. I try not to. But when I am telling parents what ODD is, it's simply that it's just a child that most people may describe as bad. These are the children who are defiant, which means they just don't do what they're told. So they're defiant, they're oppositional, which means they do the opposite of what they're told. They are argumentative. They go back and forth, back and forth. They're going to have the last word regardless. They make you want to hit them. Y'all know y'all have wanted to hit y'all kids. And some of y'all out there have R. Kelly'd your kids before. If you don't know about R. Kelly and your kids, you can Google that when we get done. All right. Not R. Kelly. Lord, I'm getting it all mixed up today. Not R. Kelly. We definitely don't want you to R. Kelly your kids. I'm talking about Kirk Franklin. They turned it into a verb. Kirk Franklin and your kids. Some of y'all have done that too. And because kids push us, right? Even our adult kids will push us. These babies will push us. These toddlers will push us. And then we end up Kirk Franklin in them. And we don't want to do that. All right. Don't R. Kelly your kids. But don't Kirk Franklin them either. So these are the kids that are ODD, oppositional defiant disorder. They are argumentative, oppositional, defiant, easily annoyed. They annoy others. They blame others for their mistakes. They are vindictive, plotting to get back at other people. And then they tantrum. What usually makes them tantrum? When you tell them no or when they don't get their way. That's when I tantrum too, right? Husband said, you don't need another blue shirt. I'm subject to tantrum. Difference between me and the kids, I can still go buy another one. Now I got 12 blue shirts and he looking at me like, But that's beside the point. So these are the kids that a lot of people will say that they're bad because they're in the middle of Walmart. And y'all know I like Walmart. They're in the middle of Walmart. I got my blue shirt on. They're in the middle of Walmart. You tell them they can't have Scooby-Doo snacks. All of a sudden, they're on the floor, right? And so what really gets disturbing to parents, and it just sometimes hurts their feelings, y'all, is when in the middle of a tantrum, they say the most harsh things, right? Vindictive. They say the things that are just stab down into your heart and make you so sad because they say stuff like, I don't love you. You don't love me. You never wanted me. I want a new family. I want to be with my daddy. I want to be with my mama. You're not my mama. If it's a stepmama, you're not my daddy. You're not the boss of me. I'm going to hurt you. I'm going to hurt me. I'm going to burn this house down while you're sleeping after I stab you. Yes, I've heard it all. If it's your first time joining or watching me, if it's your first time joining live, just go on ahead and type first time live. Hello, Manessa. Thank you. Hello. Priscilla's laughing at me. And Auntie Rosa says, I'm here. Don't you look pretty today? Thank you so much, darling, for joining. And we are so appreciative that you are here. All right. So, oppositional defiant disorder. Argumentative, oppositional, which means they do the opposite of what you tell them. You tell them cut the light on, they cut the light off, and they look at you. You tell them sit down, they stand up. You tell them come, they go. Opposite, okay? Argumentative, defiant, oppositional, easily annoy others, blame others for their mistakes. You can be pouring the cup, you can catch them pouring from the pitcher. You can catch them pouring from the pitcher. You'll say, are you pouring that Kool-Aid? No. Sally Sue, my sister. This ain't got nothing to do with Sally Sue, your sister. Because even if she told you to do it, I just saw you doing it and I asked you, are you pouring it? So I don't want to hear nothing about Sally Sue, your sister. But that's what they do. They blame everybody. The dog, the teacher. It's the teacher's fault. She don't like me. And so she made you keep talking, and that's why she sent you to the principal's office. Okay. And then they throw tantrums for it. So watch out for the people who are, watch out for the tantrums, right? And remember, mind your business and drink your water. Now, let me say this. If you witness somebody beating their child, that's something different. If you witness someone whipping their child, you got to make a judgment call. Mind your business, because you probably got whippings too, right? All right. Okay, what else we got? So that takes care of the B, behaviorally challenged, right? Let's see who else we got over here. What are people saying? Eureka says, yes. Miss Kenesha says, yes, indeed, but I learned to look over it unless it's something very serious. See what I just said? Can't let people be out here beating their kids, right? And sometimes, you know, R. Kelly, I don't know why I keep saying R. Kelly. Sometimes Kirk Franklin, and y'all got to Google what he did. I'll tell you, he cursed his boy out. He cursed his son out, an adult son, who it sounds like maybe had provoked him. I don't know. I wasn't there. Allegedly, his son had provoked him. And so he just cursed him out, right? And so that happens, right? And so sometimes that happens as parents, and we have to, that's why walking away and ignoring are so important. Okay, and so we're going to give y'all some tools today to figure out how to do it. Miss Angel says that it's her first time live. We appreciate you being here, Miss Angel. Shanae Jacobs. Miss Eureka Carter says that all the time. That's right, all the time. Oh my God, yes, he lies too. Lie. Yes, that goes with it. Blaming others, that's a lie. I'm asking you who's pouring the Kool-Aid. The first thing you say is, sister, today, you already told a lie. Just a lie. How should we handle the tantrums? Oh my goodness, we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it. All right. So the first thing is the B, behaviorally challenged ODD. Now, the second thing, I'm going to talk about 2 A's. Okay. Autism and ADHD. So I think Priscilla asks, what makes these kids tantrum like that? So with autism spectrum disorders, which if you need to know more about autism, make sure you go to the September 24th live stream. There were 2 of them. One I'm wearing red, one I'm wearing blue because I like to change clothes in the middle of the day. And check those out. They're about 3 hours long. And then there was another one maybe a month ago where I'm wearing a gray t-shirt. My words aren't coming out. A gray t-shirt, and it's on a Sunday. So if you're looking them up by Sundays, just look up the one that's on a Sunday in the last couple of months. I talk about autism in that one as well. But children who have autism, one of the big things, right, remember, it's a social disorder. So they have problems processing social things that are spoken and or non-spoken. And they just don't understand the rules of engagement, if you will. So, and sometimes they can't talk at all. And we call that nonverbal. So imagine that you want to tell mama in Walmart that you want the Frosted Flakes. She has no problem getting them for you, purchasing them, but you have no way to communicate that that is what you want. So you are doing whatever it is that you can to get her attention, but she misses it. She keeps walking down the aisle. That may cause a problem. The other thing that happens with children with autism spectrum disorders, remember, there's a lot of sensory overload. And so what's going on in grocery stores, you got a lot of people, you got a lot of noise, you got the lights up top that most people don't even hear, but they make a really low humming, buzzing noise that people on the spectrum may be able to pick up. The baskets, have y'all ever sat on, or do you remember sitting on those baskets when you were younger, right? Those crates, they hurt a little bit. So if you don't have anything soft, that may be a reason. If they have tags in their shirts, any of a number of things, somebody may scream out, something may hit the floor, they're grabbing their ears, they have a tantrum. So, and there is no way that a person looks. So when people say, well, he doesn't look, just stop right there, because you don't know. So anything could be going on. That's why it's best to do what? If you encounter a situation like this, what is it best for you to do? Anybody know? Can somebody tell me what's the best thing to do if you encounter a child like that in the store and they are tantruming and their mother looks like she's exasperated and doing the best that she can? What's the best thing to do? I know somebody knows what to tell me. Somebody, anybody? Auntie Julia's watching. Thank you for joining, Auntie Julia. What's the best thing to do when you encounter mind your business? That's right, mind your business. Keep walking. If you got some water and you get tempted, maybe when you go into Walmart, into the Publix, into the Target, wherever, if you think you're going to be tempted, take a bottle of water so you can just say, let me sip on this water and mind my business, all right? Because that mama is probably doing the best that she can. It probably took a lot of courage for her to even come in that store. With typically developing children who are neurotypical, we might be able to say for them, what do we say? Don't ask for nothing. Black mamas, we good at that. Talking through our teeth, don't ask for nothing. And if they start asking for something, you just look at them, right? Well, you can't do that when your child doesn't understand because, right, what is that? The fact that I confront my person and talk to our teeth, that is a non-verbal but a social cue. And so if you're someone who does not understand facial expressions, then you're going to miss that clue. If you have problems understanding speech, you definitely won't understand it. All right. Clarence says, pray for them and keep it moving. Yes, I love it. Miss Dia says, give them the benefit of the doubt. Yes, there are a lot of mamas out here struggling. They are hanging on by a strand. And you just never know. Your stare at them, your look of dismay, confusion, and disgust may be just what it needs to make that mama snap. So, like y'all have said, send up a prayer, give some grace, give the benefit of the doubt. Now there may be some times to interject now, right? Because we are people who understand that rules are meant to be broken. If she's got the baby and she's trying to keep him in the stroller and she's also trying to reach for the Frosted Flakes, but he's about to jump out the basket, that might be a good time for you to interject. Get the Frosted Flakes, give her a smile, and keep moving and mind your business. Unless you have time to just walk around the store with her and get everything she needs while she tries to keep her baby occupied, but get her shopping needs. That's a really nice gesture and you would feel really good about yourself. But what she does not need is your judgment. All right? Because if, like I said, I'm trying to make sure that mine are not tearing up nothing in the store. Okay? So if you see me, just mind your business too. All right. So that takes care of one of the A's, which is autism. All right. So that's a reason that a child could be tantruming or misbehaving. And it just could be because it's either too much sensory stimulation or because they just don't understand the social situation. And so that would cause them to act up in that instance. Now, the other thing is ADHD. My auntie Wanda said ADHD, whether diagnosed or undiagnosed. What do we know about ADHD? We know that these kids, if they have the hyperactive impulsive type, is this helpful, y'all? If this is helpful, just go in and write helpful in the chat for me. We know that children with ADHD, let me see if it's helpful, because if it ain't helpful, I don't know. I might have to give me some new fans. Let me see. Is it helpful? Is it helpful, y'all? Who says it's helpful? Priscilla's laughing at me. Don't laugh. Y'all know it's true. She's been shopping with me and my kids, so she knows. My sis Erica says, hello, my beautiful sis. I encourage 3 Worried Moms to tune in to Focus on It Friday this week. Yes, we appreciate that so much because not only does it increase my followers, which I appreciate, but it will bless them. I'm sure of that. Auntie Julia says it's helpful. Priscilla, helpful. Clara says it's helpful. Melissa Ann, welcome. She says it's helpful. Oh, goodness, my friend Dr. Erica is watching. And who else is watching? Miss Janice Davis, Sergeant, my mom friend. She says it is helpful. Mama says helpful, and she sends me hearts. And Miss KK says it's helpful. Great. I love it. Now we can keep going. So we're talking about reasons that a child could be labeled as bad. And when I say labeled as, I'm not talking about professionally. I'm talking about what people see in the street, in the Walmart, in the Target, when they need to mind their business. They may say their child is bad. Their child could have a behavioral problem, that's your B, and it could be ODD. They could have autism, that's your first A, and they could have your ADHD. Now, we talk about ADHD all the time. We talk about ADHD just like we're breathing, okay? We know that you can have hyperactivity, impulsivity, or inattention, any of a combination. So let's imagine how inattention could play out as a child being bad. You tell a child in Walmart, get the Frosted Flakes, they got the Cheerios. You pop them on the side of the head, boy, pay attention. Now they tantrum because they're frustrated. You told them Cheerios or whatever, you know, however that example goes. So now they're frustrated. The other child, the hyperactive child, he's just running. And you looking like he need to get that kid under control. Kid that rolled by you and rolled up on your heel with that basket. And you know how that hurt. You almost snatched them up yourself, but you had to keep it together because that was not your child. And no matter how bad you think that child is, if you hit that child, that mama's going to be coming to pay you a visit on aisle 2. Now we got to clean up. We don't want that. We don't want the police involved. So when you see that child, as best you can, let them finish on that aisle and then you come back. That way you won't be tempted to scowl at that mama and you won't be tempted to judge her. You just let them go. You go to the next one and then you come back. I know you said that's out of my way. I want to just say something to her and move on. You run the risk of the child with ADHD running up on your heel. How many people have had that to happen? Just put ouch in the chat. If somebody ran up on your heel with that basket, it could be your own child. What you do? You cut your eyes on them because it hurts. Just say ouch in the chat if you've ever had that shopping cart to run up on your heel. Has it happened to you all? Has it happened? Let me see. Just put ouch in the chat if it's happened to you. Let me see. While y'all are trying to figure out if it's happened, let's see. Erica says, Dr. Erica says, always helpful. I too encourage a mom as well. Based on my learnings from you. Oh my goodness, thank you. That means so much to me when those people who know what kind of work I do and how passionate I am recommend others over to see me. Yes, I really appreciate it. It makes a difference and I appreciate it. Erica says, ouch, she has had that to happen. Auntie Julia says, ouch, but my own child. Auntie Julia, I know. And then you turn around and you look at them like, what is wrong with you? You might even Kirk Franklin them if they run up out your heel with that basket. Yes. Priscilla says, I think as us, we just say they are bad, but they really are precious. They really are precious, just precious. And we really have to think of that. How can I get to the bottom of what is going on with my child? How can I get to the bottom of what is going on with my child? Because really, that's the only child that you need to be concerned with. You don't have to get to, and I mean you as everybody out there, you don't have to get to the bottom of what's going on with somebody else's child. Like I tell my patients, and my patients, they love me because I am just raw with them. What y'all get on Fridays is what they get when they come see me. And, you know, whenever they get confused and think that I'm trying to overstep my boundaries, I say, whoa, remember, you love them more than I do. I love them like Jesus Christ told me to, and I love them because they're my patients, and I get real protective of my patients. I don't want nobody messing with them. You can't talk about my patients, right? But at the same time, you as the parent love them and you're around them more than I am. So I have to trust your word. I have to respect your wishes. I'm going to give you what the books say. I'm going to give you what my expertise and years of practice and seeing, oh my goodness, so many different patients, even the ones I didn't want to see because somebody stopped me when I was in Walmart. But I digress. I try to get them into the office and get them taken care of because meanwhile, while I'm talking to you about your children, I've got 2, 4, and 6-year-olds over here trying to get the Frosted Flakes down themselves. Y'all know Franklin. He's trying to get it himself, and his sidekick, Faith, the 2-year-old, is right there with him, right? So I can't do that in Walmart, but I can get you in the office as soon as I can. All right. Ouch, says Miss Melissa Ann. All right, so we've had that to happen. So we've got the ADHD kid. They're running around. They're being loud. They're running up on people's heels. They are, you know, they may even be knocking stuff off the shelf, right? So if you feel like you must do something, maybe get the store manager involved. But otherwise, if you don't think the store manager needs to be involved, pray for him, extend some grace. What did Miss Diaz say? Miss Diaz said, what did she say, do? Oh my goodness, where is it? Give them the benefit of the doubt. Sip on your water because it will keep your mouth wet without you having to open it, and keep shopping. All right? But ADHD can definitely do that. If you need more information on ADHD, just go any, mini, miny, mo on any of my lectures, and you're probably going to land on one where I'm talking about ADHD. All right. The next thing is the D. Develop a game plan. Develop a game plan. Before I go on, let me just talk real briefly about one other A and then a D that could also make kids. And this is just a synopsis, guys. I would love for you to go back and watch all my videos because there are nuggets, gems, diamonds in all of them, right? But if there's one that the title strikes your interest, go ahead and listen to that one, but try to listen to all of them because, I might, whatever comes up, I'm answering it. Like I told Miss, I think it's Eureka today. So anxiety can make kids act out. Anxiety takes the many forms, right? So in children, they're not just sitting in a corner biting on their nails. They could be tantruming. They could have had something awful to happen and they witnessed it, or they hear it every night when you think they're asleep because you put them in bed, but y'all are still arguing. So they may go to school the next day and replay some of that stuff or just act out. So they always hear, so never assume that they aren't hearing what you're saying and what you're doing. If they're in the house, assume that they hear it or see it because they may get out of bed when you didn't know it. And then depression. Depression can act out as well too. So just be aware of those things. And then the last D is discipline. How do we do it? We got to be consistent. Developing a game plan, the first is discipline. I am a big, big, big fan of people being consistent. What do I mean by being consistent? If the only reason that the talking through the teeth works is because you told them that the last time, you're not going to get anything, don't touch nothing, don't look at nothing, stand in a straight line. The only reason that works is because the last time you told them that, you stuck by what you said. If you say, I'm not getting you anything, and you get them something, guess what? They're going to tantrum because it works. We as human beings do what works. Even small, tiny ones, they do what works. So the best way to nip in the bud any behaviors that you don't want is when a child is very, very, very young, right? Talk to your child when they're in your belly and tell them what we're not going to cooperate, what we will not tolerate, right? We will not tolerate this. Because they'll come out and I already know, oh, she told me that. I remember seeing that at month 4 and then again at week 35. She told me at week 37, now you getting ready to come out here, don't start none, won't be none. All right? That's how you talk to your kids. You have to just tell them straight up because somebody laughing. Y'all know that's how you got to tell these kids because that's what they understand. And it's not disrespectful. It doesn't demean you as their parent. It doesn't put you down to, being beneath what you should do. Sometimes you got to talk to these kids just like they understand it. Don't start none and it won't be none. They laugh at me when I did that. Hey, sometimes they may laugh, but you got to let them know. Well, see, Priscilla, you were probably giving in the store. You tell them we ain't getting nothing in, they come out with 10 bags of candy. So we got to be consistent. Now, let me make sure my notes. Let's talk about whipping kids. Now, the first advice, and I've said this before on my lives, somewhere early when I first started around this time last year, you need to check with your state and your local agencies around corporal punishment. So here, the rule is that you cannot leave a mark. Right? So if you have a really light-skinned child that bruises easily, that may be a problem for you. Just keep that in mind because mandated reporters who include your doctors, your teachers, and some other people, your school nurses, we are not required to prove that it's right or wrong. We're only required to report what we saw. And if we see bruises, then, that looks suspicious and that the child can't account for, then we may have to report. So don't get mad at us. We are doing what we need to do to be able to, first of all, sleep at night. And second of all, to keep our jobs, right? Because everybody's going to want to know, well, the school nurse saw it, Dr. Rudolph Bolin saw it, and she didn't say anything. Because that's how y'all do. Y'all start telling. She didn't have a problem with it. So I'm telling. I'm just letting you know. I'm telling. I'm a mandated reporter, all right? But You can whip your children here in Alabama if you do not leave a mark. What I always caution parents against with whipping is, did it work? It worked for me, right? I didn't like it. I didn't know that punishment was an option. And I didn't like being whipped because it messed up my pretty legs. Because my mama would hit me, so I just didn't try to do too much. I talked a lot now. I talked a lot. But otherwise, I wasn't trying to do a whole lot to get that punishment. There are some kids, though, who come home every day. Snitches get stitches. And Priscilla ought to know she is snitch number 1. All right, snitch number 1. But if it works, great. If it doesn't, go to something else. I know of children who come home every day and just assume the position to get their licks because they are just like, look, I know I did something in school today. Let me go on and get this over with so I can move on with the rest of the day. At that point, it's not effective. You should not have to whip your kid all day, every day. So if you are, we need to look at, well, my goodness, what else could be going on? So that's whipping or corporal punishment, spanking, whipping, whooping, whatever else you may call it. Behavior charts work wonderfully. If you don't know what they are, put that down on your list of things to Google after you Google Kirk Franklining. Google your behavior charts. In summary, behavior charts are, I call them like a time card for children's behaviors. So you get a piece of paper. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. What you're going to do is label it Sunday through Saturday, or however you want to start your week. And then you list 5 things that you want your child to do. Typically 5 things that you have trouble with them doing. Of the 5 tasks in a day that they are charged with, they need to get at least 4 right. They need to at least complete 4 of the tasks. I always encourage parents to put at least 1 task as something that they do every day. Anyway, so if your child loves making their bed, then make sure that make bed is on there. Some other things that parents have said include things like make bed, put dishes in sink, put clear table, what else? Put clothes in hamper, go to bed first time told. That's 5 right there. Okay, and if these are things that your child struggles with, then you know what I'm talking about. So at least one of those things is something that they do all the time, which means that they'll get that star. You can use a star. You can use, some parents do Velcro and put a star on the Velcro so that they aren't having to make new charts every week, but literally just get a piece of paper, make up your own chart. The days of the week across, the 5 tasks below, and you need to write it to the side, those 5 things that you want them to do, and then allow for a check mark under each day. All right, Google behavior charts to help with that. Now, what is the point of it? Remember I said that a behavior chart, y'all with me? Say you with me. All right, just let me know you're with me. The point of the behavior chart is to change behaviors, right? So it's like your time sheet or your time clock or whatever you keep at work if you are a non-salaried person. All right, so there needs to be a reward. All right, Auntie Julia says she's with me. With you, thank you. All right, there needs to be a reward. Now, this is where your consistency comes in. All right, Miss Eureka says she's with me. I appreciate you, girl. You're hanging in there. Auntie Gail's hanging in there. All right, I love it. I love it, I love it, I love it. Thank you all for hanging in here with me. Okay, you make your chart. A couple of things are important about making your chart. Involve the child, right? Remember I said it's like your time clock. When you go to take a job, you know, they may say, well, what were you thinking your pay would be? And so you're going to say, well, I was thinking, you know, $100 an hour. And they may say, ooh, we were thinking closer to 10. Somewhere in the middle, y'all might get to 12. But if y'all that far apart, it may not work. So the reward needs to be something that they want. And we'll talk about the reward. The tasks need to be something that are age appropriate, but most importantly, the tasks need to be explained to them. So often in parenting, we are not consistent and we did not explain the rules of the game, yet we're expecting the child to continue to play. So what then ends up happening is there is a disconnect between what is expected and what the child knows to do, and we end up whipping them, punishing them, whatever, for something that they didn't really understand. So make sure you involve them in the creating of the plan, especially if they're older. Younger kids, you just tell them this is what we need to do. All right, Miss Janice, thank you so much. If they're older, say, look, this is what I was thinking. How do you feel about these? Are these things that you struggle with? Do you struggle to make your bed every day? And what does mama have to tell you? Make your bed every day. What does mama have to tell you? Clear your plate. What does mama have to tell you? Come in and do your homework first and then do other stuff. So they'll understand this is going to be the routine. The other thing you need to do is get everybody on board. Everybody on board. You got it, girl. T-Wit, that's my line sister. She says, just tuned in. Sounds like a good old behavioral modification plan. Come on, LS. Love you too, girl. Y'all, my line sister Taria has so many degrees in psychology. She is my psychology expert extraordinaire over there in Atlanta, Georgia. Check her out if you're in Atlanta. Do you take patience, girl? Because I give you patience. But yes, behavior modification plan. That's exactly what we're doing. Some people call it parent behavior training. But this is definitely the way that we would go about changing behaviors, all right? So you need to be consistent. That's where I left off. You need to be consistent. If the goal is to get 4 out of 5, and then you can watch 30 minutes of TV, but daddy comes home and he says, oh, son, you had a good day. Looks like you got 3 out of 5. We'll give you 20 minutes today. What's going to happen is the next day when dad is out working late and you're home with the kids trying to get them ready and he's going to just be an hour late, that child will have done 3 tasks and you will say, son, you have to do 4. And he is going to tantrum. I hate you. You don't love me. Dad is the better parent. You're not fair. This isn't right. I'm going to live with grandmama and all of that. That's why tantrums happen too, Priscilla, because parents aren't consistent. So if you tell the kid don't ask for nothing in the store, you have to be real cautious and make sure that the child understands that this was an outlier as to why you're giving in to your wish. Even if it means you come to the car, if you got somebody with you, put them in the car and go back. But what you don't want to do is start giving in to the child who does not understand that I didn't manipulate mom. Mom just wanted to get that from me anyway. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. So make your chart, put the 5 things down that you want, and then go from there. I am a much bigger fan of letting children earn a reward than taking things away from them. It sounds the same. You don't have TV tonight. But if you don't do 4 out of 5 things and you don't get TV, I can turn that on you. Versus, you won't give me my phone back. No, you had your phone this morning, but you didn't do what you needed to keep your phone. Y'all see how that works? It's on you, son. It's on you, daughter. You can have your phone every day. I bought it for you. But you have to do these things to keep it. And why is the behavior chart like your time clock at work? It's because, think about it. Your boss does not say to you, here's your pay for the next 2 weeks. And then if you don't come, they say, okay, give me money back. It doesn't work that way. You do several things for several days, namely showing up. Because some of y'all got coworkers that just show up only and they getting paid. And you wondering why they still there. Just blink 3 times if you know what I'm talking about. Okay. So, I didn't blink 3 times, just twice. But all you got to do is come to work. And then in 2 weeks, you get your pay. All you got to do is 4 out of 5 things. At the end of the day, you get your pay. Now, what is the pay? The pay is whatever your child likes. If you say, I'm going to give you 5 Hershey Kisses every day, and your child doesn't like chocolate, they're not going to have any incentive to do whatever you put on that chart. Much like with me, if someone has said, I'm going to pay you in eggs, I would have said, it was so nice to meet you. Right? But when they start talking cash, I said, how much? And we negotiate something, then we can make a deal. Same with kids, right? You've got to be consistent. You've got to give rewards that make sense. So if you say, if you're good all week, we're going to Disney World. Now, you could barely make it to your appointment to see me when you've been knowing about that for 3 months, but you're going to take this kid to Disney World at the end of the week for behaving for 1 week. What's going to happen? When Friday comes and y'all aren't loading up, the next day, that child will do none of what you said. So the rewards need to be reasonable. The rewards need to be something that you can reproduce. The rewards need to be discussed with the kids. The rewards need to be something that the child wants. Letting a child earn this every day will work better for you than taking it away. One of the reasons that works out is because a lot of parents, when they say, I'm going to take something from you, they don't give an end date. So imagine if your boss said, I'm going to dock your pay because you weren't in uniform. For how long? When I feel like it. When you have proven yourself. Well, do I prove myself if I show up in uniform tomorrow or a month from now? You just got them on this mystery chase for a paycheck. Guess what's going to happen? You're going to say, I'm not going. I'll get another job. I'll take my chances because I'm over here working for free. I can go over there and work and know that I'm going to get paid. Or just be at home and work for free. Right? Let's see, somebody said, Miss Lolita says redirection through rewards is effective. Yes, Miss Lolita. Thank you so much for joining and for commenting. I think Miss Lolita is a therapist. I think. Not sure. Absolutely. Come through therapist for me. All right. So you got to be consistent. You can whip if you know how to whip. And that means knowing what the rules are for your area as far as when DHR is going to have to be called. All right. And only if it's effective. If you find that the reward you had in mind isn't making that kid go for it, change it up. How does that relate to being on your job? If you've been at your company for 20 years, I can guarantee that what you went making 20 years ago is not what you're making now. You wouldn't keep going. So the reward has to change. The incentive has to change. Danielle says, hello, Dr. B. How are you feeling today? I'm feeling wonderful. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for joining. All right, what else we got? Ignoring is a very powerful tool that parents don't know how to use, or we just choose not to use. I once read something when I first got out of residency that said when parents start screaming, kids have won, and it's absolutely true. Children are button pushers, and the child with ADHD, they just push buttons unknowingly. The child with ADHD, they're all over the place, and it could push your button. Parents and other people staring at you in Walmart instead of drinking their water and minding their business, that may be enough to get a child hurt. So ignoring that child, that's why you may see some parents when you're in the Walmart ignoring their child who's laid out like they're making snow angels. That is not the time for you to go over and talk to that child. That is the time for you to mind your business, because that mom is actually working on a behavior modification and something that keeps her sane and out of jail, right? Because remember, we do not want to Kirk Franklin these kids. So if she's managing to ignore him and she's okay with him or her being on the floor, mind your business. Keep moving. She's not going to leave him there. And believe me, even if she went to the next aisle, she still got one eye looking over there at him. And she going to take off like Mama Bear if somebody try to come pick him up. Right? That is a behavioral modification technique. And I encourage you to do it. My mama had perfected that thing where she would ignore me. One time, y'all, don't tell my mama. She even told me, don't call her name. And then she said she changed it. I said, what'd you change it to? She said, if I told you, you'd use it, so I'm not telling you. My mama was on some high-level behavior modification way back in the day, and she didn't even know it. Look at that. So I couldn't call her name. All right? I was a little bit older, too, so I understood what was going on. All right. So we talked a lot, y'all. Somebody's laughing. Somebody's laughing. My mama, I'm telling you, to not be someone who is really in tune and in touch with psychological things, my mama did some real high order psychological changes. You know, she's like, don't call me. I changed my name. I'm not mama anymore. Right? And so that may be what that mama's doing to that kid in the grocery store. She has told him, you can lay there as long as you want to. But as long as you down there, I am not mama. And I'm not telling you what my name is. So mind your business and drink your water, because she has just had a temporary name change. And it is okay. She's not going to leave him there. She's going to come back and pick him up. But she just got to teach him a lesson, right? My classmate, the teacher extraordinaire, Miss Lish Wheels, is with us. Clarence says, cousin Dyke, let me tell you, your cousin was something else. But, right, check out the wall. Check out the wall, y'all. Everybody wants these kids who have pieces of paper behind them that represents hundreds of thousands of dollars, but we want to be our kids' friends. And that's one of the other things. This is not even, medically, psychologically related. Your job when you had kids was to be a parent. If you are a friend by mistake, it works out. But it may be that you're not even their friend until they are grown. And that's okay, right? I was my mama's friend when I was little. I didn't really like her there for a minute. I didn't like her. And then when I got to college and realized, oh, this is why she said no and I love you. That was it. That was all the woman ever said. No and I love you. But it turns into this, right? That's what happens. All right, let's see what else we got. Miss Lish says, I once told one of my students my new name was a symbol like Prince. Exactly. Because sometimes they are just cutting up for no reason, right? I think as another behavioral tool, we need to allow our kids to express themselves. I'm not saying they need to be free to curse, but I think that our kids are too smart for the children ought to be seen and not heard. They have a lot to say. And we need to make sure that we're giving them a safe place to be able to say it. Give them the words to express themselves. So perhaps if they know that they are frustrated and they even make pictures, if they can just point to that and say, I hurt, I'm frustrated, I'm upset, I'm mad. It's okay to be upset and mad even with me. You're going to get over it, son. And if not, it's just going to be a long rest of your life with me. But I'm not mad at you. I love you. I just had to do this because you didn't follow my instructions. We gotta talk to these kids like that. And then if they get real upset and they want to throw things or they want to punch stuff, punching me is completely unacceptable. And so is my husband, because okay, y'all know. But if they need to punch something, son, here are some pillows. You can punch these pillows. But anything in my house that can break or any other human in my house is off limits for punching, right? So we have to give some parameters. And then you can close the door behind you. Don't slam my door because I'll take all the doors off the hinges in this house. You got to meet them where they are. Some of y'all scared of y'all kids, I think. And then you bring them to me talking about help me. Okay, I'm going to get off my soapbox. Okay. So we've got to be consistent. We've got to start early. When they are 14 and 15, I'm not going to say it's too late, but it sure is late for you to be seeking my assistance. Please treat these babies with ADHD. People who have ADHD, now y'all know every week, I'm going to tell y'all about ADHD. These are the kids that grow up to not be able to understand the work. Then we got Miss Lish trying to figure out, how do we get this kid to do their work? Well, the kid can't do the work, not because he's not able, but because he can't focus. And when he can't focus, what's he going to do? Disrupt the class. And then when he disrupts the class, he's going to get put out. And then when he gets put out, he's missing instruction. And then when he misses instruction, he's going to fail a grade. And then when he fails a grade, now he's 16 in the 8th grade. Now we got a problem because everybody in the 8th grade, parents, they trying to figure out why this grown man who can drive to school is still pulling up at the middle school parking in the teacher's parking lot. Now we got more disruption. Now we get 33% of kids who don't ever finish high school with ADHD. On the other hand, we have a really bright student who does well in all his classes until he gets to 9th grade and 11th grade. I tell y'all all the time, those odd number grades are hard. This kid now goes to college and he becomes one of the 5 to 10% only that finish, which means that 90 to 95% do not finish. So now this kid is depressed because he's like, I don't know what in the world is going on. I used to be good. I got into college. I scored well on the ACT. It took me 4 times, but by the first time I figured out how to keep focus from the trees blowing in the wind, because that's what I see outside my window. In the periphery. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been distracted, except I was thinking, what is going on around me? Or the air conditioner blowing. That's what ADHD is like. So now everybody said he was such a smart guy because he got so depressed he started using marijuana. All right, I'm all off topic. But Y'all know I'm going to bring it back. Like your pastor going to bring it back to the cross, I'm going to bring it back to ADHD every week. Let's see. Miss Lolita says, you're right. You have to put in the work. God will honor your obedience. I believe this wholeheartedly. Got to put in the work. Work. Faith without works, just bury it. Danielle says, Dr. B, it may be off subject. What do you do if a child speaks of harming themselves often? Go to psychiatric ward at the hospital. It depends. And I've talked, I don't know when, on the Sunday. So I'll answer your question now, but if anybody's wondering more about this, the Sunday presentation that I did where I'm wearing a gray shirt, so just pull out your calendar. Whichever video was done in the last couple of months on a Sunday, that is where I talk both about autism and I also talk about suicidal thoughts versus passive thoughts of death. Passive thoughts of death mean, Lord, if you take me, I'm ready. Suicidal thoughts mean, Lord, I'm going to help you take me right now, as soon as I get a chance. One of them is definitely an emergency. Both of them definitely need attention. So you may not need, some people just kind of live life like, Lord, I just don't want to live anymore. I'm ready when you call me home. But they aren't necessarily going to kill themselves. And so there is a difference. I think, but each time that the utterance is made calls for an individual assessment. Because you can't always say, well, he always talking about he going to kill himself. Because the one time that he said it and you don't pay attention may be the one time that he actually makes an attempt or is successful. So each time that the statement is made, you got to identify what's going on. You got to look at a lot of different things to figure out if this is a serious statement or, you know, and I hate saying when people say he did it to get attention. Because if he did it to get attention, are you giving him the attention? You being everyone out there in the sound of my voice. What is the attention that is needed? What is the attention that the person is asking for? Make sure you're giving it to them because that can develop into something else. Good question. Miss Patrice, welcome from Pensacola. She says, yes, you do look pretty. Beauty and brains. Thank you so much. Y'all, this is a whole lot of prayer over here that keeps me up and going and a passion for what I do. So I appreciate you joining me and for giving me the compliments. Lish says, okay then, talk to them. Talk to them. Yes, we got to talk to them. Got to talk to, I'm not really sure what that comment was in reference to, but talking to our kids. Yes, they are not little trophies. They just walk around and we fix them up and they look like dolls. And I mean, no, they are human beings. They have feelings. And we need to make sure that we're encouraging them to express their feelings. And it's okay for them to be mad at us. It's okay for them to be sad. If their sad lingers, you probably need to get them some help. And like I said last week, mama, get over yourself. Some of our kids are suffering because we are stuck on what will people say. Well, apparently people saying stuff anyway. Y'all judging the people at Walmart. So people are talking anyway. You better do what's good for you, your house, and your children. Save your children. Some of these children some of these adults could have been saved as children, but either we didn't recognize it or we were in denial. So that's your fault, mama. But it's really not your fault. But if you're hearing this now and you can do better, let's start doing better. Let's see, Miss Lolita says, I tell my kids emotions are natural, but you have to learn how to control your emotions in a healthy manner, right? Emotions are natural. Behaviors, emotions can lead to behaviors, and we need to understand that. We need to understand that, and we need to help our kids control their emotions so that their behaviors don't get them in trouble. Most times your emotions don't get you in trouble. Being mad doesn't get you in trouble. Stomping off and slamming mama's door till it falls off the hinges does. We didn't care that you got mad. We care that you tore our door up. Now we got to pay somebody to put the whole frame up. We're mad about the behavior. We're not mad about the emotion. All right. Lish says, this is all accurate. Teacher approved, stamped, and certified. Yes to our kids. Facts, says Miss Lolita. Did y'all like today's lesson? I don't like when I get too preachy. But sometimes, you know, I just get real passionate. Did y'all like today's? We talked about the bad kids, right? We talked about the bad kids. The ones who are behaviorally challenged, they may have ODD, You can go back to the beginning and listen to that if you missed what ODD is. Also in the fall, I think it was September the 4th, I talked about ODD a little bit more, just spent a whole lot of time on it, what it looks like. We talked about the A's, because y'all know I like acronyms. So BAADD, I think is what I had. The B was behaviorally challenged ODD. The A was autism spectrum disorder and ADHD, also anxiety. The D's are depression, but most importantly, the D is to develop a game plan. Sometimes a person like me, a psychiatrist, you know, who would prescribe medication is involved, but I think we've got Miss Lolita, we've got Miss Taria, we've got several other therapists who come in and stop by. You may decide that your game plan starts there, but you need a game plan. And I should say, as D, stop being in denial. It's not helping you. It's not helping your child. It's not helping society. Get these babies some help so I don't have to look at them at the news or hear about who they've shot up 5 and 4 at a time. It's really discouraging because all I can think about is, oh my goodness, I could have helped that child. And some children I may not have been able to help. But if we would get out of our own way, our children can get the help that they need, and they really can be successful in the classroom and in life. I'm not just saying that when I do my intro and outro because it sounds cute. I really believe that if we get babies help, and adults too, some of y'all walking around with issues, and that's why your kids can't be any better. Because you have issues. You have your own untreated ADHD. And so y'all are screaming at each other in the mall. Now somebody might look at y'all like, well, what's happening? Who's in control? But you can't be in control, or you can't control your behaviors when you have your own things that are going on that are untreated, unresolved. You still mad at daddy because he left when you were 12 and you are 112 now. We need to get some therapy about that, because it's now impacting you and your child's dad who left. And you telling that son he ain't gonna ever be nothing but like his daddy. Remember, somebody asked, I think Mr. Donnell, you asked, or somebody asked, no, it was my cousin. It was my cousin who asked on a call that they had gotten me to do for them, do words matter? Words absolutely matter. My parents told me I could become a doctor, so I believed it. My mama always told me I was pretty, so I believed it. My mama told me, check the mirror before you leave home so you know what you look like, so you don't have to wonder. And I believe it. I checked the mirror, and I believe what I saw. So we do have to speak positively over our kids. If you pray for them, make sure that you're doing all of those things. Let's see what else we got. We're going to get out of here. Danielle says, I like today's topic. Excellent. Some parents are afraid of their kids. I like when you get on your soapbox. Well, thank you. You know, you don't have to tell me. It doesn't take much encouragement for me to get up there. I will get up there, because some parents honestly just don't know. And some parents are really doing the best that they can. But that's what I'm here for, to show you that there's even better than your best. There's even better than my best, which is why I stay in a group of mommies, like Miss Janice is on here. I stay in a group of mommies who we challenge each other, and we say, now, girl, that ain't right. Don't do your husband like that. Or let that baby go back to school, because you're doing that for yourself. At this point, all the adults, the research has said this or the research has said that. What are you afraid of? That kid is begging to be around some other children. They've been looking at you since this time last year. So we do have to be around some like-minded people who have good sense. And you always want to have at least one person in your circle who knows a little bit more than you do. That's how you go up. That's how you go up. Mama says good information as always. Erica says all of these lessons have truly heightened my awareness when I'm around others, especially children. Thanks for your passion to educate. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Miss Lolita says, hands in the air. Clarence says, you really preaching now. And y'all, Mr. Clarence, I'm going to give a shout out to all of my, and I'm glad that just came up, because I want to shout out friends of Focus on It Friday. I want to give y'all some good parting words. Donnell says, I'm learning as a father to stop so much yelling at my kids and stop and talk to them. You're right. I'm angry at the behavior, not them. And make sure when you talk to them that you tell them, I really did not like the way you slammed that door. Because people need to understand that emotions are given to us. Didn't Jesus go in a temple and toss some tables? Didn't he do it? Didn't he do it? Did Jesus not? He got mad. He got sad. He wept. Right? He got hungry. He ate. He was tempted. Unlike us, he did not give in. For y'all that go to church, the people that don't go to church, just plug up your ears. I'll be done in a minute. But y'all know how I am over here, Dr. Brandon B. I love the Lord. Right? Jesus got mad. Jesus hurt on that cross. He hurt. So why in the world do we think our kids don't feel emotions and they can't express them if JC did it himself? Right? So we got to stop that. We got to do better. And sometimes we just need to hear it so we can do a little bit better. Enjoy, says Auntie Julia. Janice says, good sense. Yes, 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 yes. All right. I want to give out some special shout outs to friends of Focus on It Friday. Number one, Chantrice Perry is finishing, she is finishing Alabama A&M University with her master's in something to do with nutrition. I'm going to mess that up. So let's just give her a round of applause. She is usually always here and she's open about her son and some of the challenges he is having. So send up a prayer for her on her journey through motherhood, wifehood, and all of that. And she's an excellent mother. That's my baby cousin, but I just love her to pieces, and I'm so proud of her. We've got Cecilia Crenshaw. I just read where she is going to, her son today is finishing the University of Alabama in some fancy sort of engineering with a minor in math. And she said proudly that he is going to be starting in his career on Monday. So we want to give him a round of applause. To my nephew Cameron, Erica Green over here, my sis Erica Green. Just lift up my nephew Cameron. He finished Homewood last year and he is trying to sort things out, and we want to continue to lift him up. And then Mr. Clarence, my cousin Clarence III, his daughter is finishing Lawson State Community College, and she wants to go in the mental health field. And so I'm gonna just swoop her up under my arms and teach her as much as I can and as much as she's willing to learn, because in my real life I drink my water and I mind my business. So if people don't come to me and ask for help, I got something else I could be doing anyway. But if she wants it, I'm going to teach her everything I know. She's finishing Lawson. She got the psychology award. I know I'm going to mess it up. But she's going to UAB, I believe, to finish out the remainder of her 4 years. And I think I read a couple months back, her dad was proudly announcing she's got a presidential scholarship. So look out for big things for these graduates. I'm super proud of all of them. I appreciate them or their loved ones for coming and hanging out with me. I'm sure that everybody who comes here, you're coming for a reason, whether that be for your professional development, because secretly you're dealing with something at home with your own kids, or because you just like me and you think I'm cute and you want me over here talking to myself. Whatever the reason, Clara says yes, so I got it right. Whatever the reason that you come, I am just so super excited that you're here. It's been a fun almost year doing this every Friday. I think I've missed probably 5 in the last year. But y'all are just the best fans ever. Oh, shoot. How I forget my own niece. But Amber, I didn't forget Amber. Amber ain't finishing this weekend. This was just for the people that were this weekend. But that's Priscilla, is Amber's mama, y'all. Amber is my baby niece. She's a big girl now, though. She's finishing South Alabama. Let me see what she's doing. She is doing, hold on. She's finishing in communicative disorders. Not communication, but speech. And she is going to pursue efforts to become a speech language pathologist. I did not forget Amber. And since I mentioned it, because now my husband's son, not my husband's son, that's how rumors get started. My husband's nephew, I was going to mention it on his weekend, which is next weekend. He graduated from Morehouse last year, but will walk this year. Of course, the pandemic prohibited him from walking. We were going to mention all those people on their weekends. Priscilla. Snitches get stitches. See what I'm talking about? See what should we have told Priscilla? To drink her water and mind her business. But I love Priscilla. That's my sis, y'all. I love her to death. Priscilla be getting the kids for me, and I love, 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 love her. Oh, I see Jeremy and Dia. I can't forget, oh my goodness, Jeremy and Dia Hubbard. Those are my good friends over in the northwestern part of the state. I'm just putting everybody's business on Facebook, so I hope y'all wanted everybody to know. Dia, can I tell them? I better not tell them. All right, I won't tell them. Till you tell me I can tell them. Donnell says, outstanding prayers, God's blessings. Clarence Street said, yes, hands raising, hands clapping. Keisha Pickens Jackson says, I love this title. My bad kid just finished his freshman year of college. That is absolutely awesome. Thank you for sharing. We'll throw that right in there. Keisha also has a daughter who is for real a dancer, and I think I read on Facebook that she is going off to New York. Drop that in the chat where your baby girl is going. Let's see, did Jeremy say that Jeremy and D? She says sure. So I'm probably gonna get this wrong too, but I try to do the best I can. I just be bragging on everybody. So Dia's son is in 7th grade. She's got 2 girls and a boy like me. And it's Skylar, her big boy. He is getting inducted, I believe, into the Beta Club. Super excited for Skylar. They race cars. I mean, just an amazing family. And I'm so super proud of Skylar for doing that. He's getting some awards, I think, in math. He's got all A's, y'all. I mean, just amazing kids. People are doing so many things. So if you have a student who is graduating or who you just want to pray for, y'all know I'll come back and pray over these babies because I really do want them to do well in the classroom and in life. That is what I'm over here to do. And to help you to not choke them out or Kirk Franklin them along the way. So go ahead and just drop the name of any graduating student with honors, student who's got some challenges, and we got to get them out of there. We gotta wrap our arms around our babies, and you know, all jokes aside, when you're in the grocery store and a mama is in the middle of something, that is not the time to say anything to her. But please, if you have a friend, a mommy friend, a neighbor, a family member, reach out to them and offer them some help. But above all things, don't be critical of them when they're doing the very best that they know to do. These are serious times, and we want our babies to be set up for success. All right. Anything else? Any other questions? We had some newcomers today. Can everybody do me a favor? Just share this video. And can you do one other thing? Go ahead and invite at least one person to follow my page. And there's one last thing I need y'all to do. I need y'all to go over. Okay, Keisha says her daughter is all intensives are virtual this summer. She was accepted into the Dance Theater of Harlem. And she is going to ASU. That's what she was doing. ASU's intensive also. Her audition for them got her a discount off of admittance. And she is such a sweetheart. And we are just so appreciative for her and her parents and all of you. Y'all are all great parents. I know you don't feel it sometimes. Certainly I feel that I'm a loser. I'm a slacker because I spend so much time with you all. But I'm grateful to God that he gave me the kids that I needed that would be able to share me with the world, because they know they have all my attention, but they do willingly share it. And you know, we've got a lot of supports in place, like our sisters-in-law. Don't forget about my kids. Oh yeah, don't forget about my kids. See, so I've got 3 kids. So John Rodney is he's finishing up kindergarten. He does just about everything on 2nd grade level. So we're super proud of him. Franklin is finishing up pre-K. Again, really bright guy, funny guy, smart guy. And you know, I don't call my kids smart lightly just because everybody think their kids smart. So I'm like, maybe the child got some learning disorder and I just don't know about it. But no, he really is smart and thoughtful. And then Faith, just send up some prayers for Faith. Faith is the baby girl who's 2, and she's super smart too. But right now she knows that she's super cute and she runs the house. So we're going to have to put some of these behavior modification plans in place for Miss Faith. Yes, so thank you for reminding me about my own kids. They're the sweetest. They are super, super, super sweet. One day when they grow up and can actually sit down and tell y'all about it, I wonder what it's like to grow up with a mommy who everybody wants a little bit of her time. I bet that's interesting, we'll say. My daughter graduated from elementary Montessori school. Yay, congratulations. So exciting. Montessori school is awesome. So glad to hear that. Boss baby Priscilla says, yeah, that's her. All right, guys, I held y'all a real long time today. Any other questions, concerns, comments? Remember, if you are my patient, please do not send me in a box, a message, whatever. I will ignore it. I'm just telling you that now, so it's not rude. I'm telling you, do not send that there. I will ignore it. I may forward it to the people. So if you're wondering, well, how did the clinic know to call me back? Because I forwarded the message to them, but I will not engage you there because I have a lot of support, a lot of people that help me. Miss Dia is one of them. So if you've ever called my private practice, you've talked to Dia. She's not only my great friend, but she is all things RBP, so don't make her mad. I'm just kidding. But yeah, I do protect her because she keeps my private practice going single-handedly. He's not a child, but you can announce the celebration of your Uncle Tub. And actually, I had that on the list. If you're in Birmingham, you are very familiar with my Uncle Tub, Emmanuel Tubb Bell, who was a longtime coach at Winona High School. He is having a road named in his honor, dedicated in his honor, tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. So if you want to stop by Winona High School, you can do that and lift up his family. Auntie Julia is his longtime sweetheart, and she's always on the call. And lift up his daughter, Ashley, who I actually talked with Ashley this morning. So I'll be lifting her up because it's a celebration for us, but it may be something different for them. He was just not the man in the image and the basketball champ who won, I think, 5 state high school basketball championship. But he was a great father and husband and friend. So that's right. Clarence says go Dragons. So yeah, that'll be happening tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. And Ryan, thank you for joining. If you missed it, go catch up, girl, honey. We had a good time. Usman, thank you for watching. I pray I said that right. And Pond Krung, thank you for watching as well. All right, y'all, I'm going to get out of here. Please, please, please share the video and invite somebody to the page. To Erica, who invited. I think Lish said you invited. And maybe one other person. Thank you all. That's what we need because everybody needs a good word. And also go over, if you want to know how to help your kids, help these bad kids do well in school. Help the bad kids do well in school. Go over to www.adhdsuccess.me. www.adhdsuccess.me. Get that video, take those tips down, act on them. Let's make next year the best school year ever. All right, guys. Sorry to hold y'all so long. Y'all know I love you, and you know who I am. But if you don't, let me tell you. Dr. Brandy B, triple board certified, 1, 2, and 3. Child and adolescent psychiatrist. I help worried moms, dads, teachers, preachers, invite your preachers over here. They need some of this. And anybody who needs some assistance, whoever they are, I help them get the education that they need so that they can help the children in their lives be successful in the classroom and in life. I will see you next weekend, Friday, 12 noon Central Standard Time. Let's see what we got. I invited my nurse who took great care of me today. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And that's all the way up in Cleveland. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Janice says, thank you, Dr. B. Great info as always. I support when I can. I learn and I share the information with others. Happy to hear about all the accomplishments. Yes, we got great folks hanging out over here with Dr. Brandy B. So y'all do not let anybody tell you you're not a good parent, you're not a good worker, you're not a good teacher, whatever. You are great. And we can only get better from here. See y'all next week. Love y'all. Bye.